Welcome to the program How to Fall Out of Love with Your Ex on Purpose. My name is Dr. Sylvia Buet, and I am the one having the great idea to make my life much more difficult than it already was after deciding to create this program. Okay, well, I'll stop rambling now and I'll tell you more about what we are going to cover. This therapeutic method consists of 3 sessions. There are lots of videos, quizzes, and short exercises that will guide you towards your goal. The contents of this unique online therapy program are based on the principles of cognitive behavioral therapy, also known as CBT. It's a self-directed treatment developed from the findings of a 7-year study that I conducted to investigate why some people could move on after a breakup quickly, while others got stuck and they didn't seem to adjust even after a long period of time. So let me give you an introduction of what we are going to cover in detail. Another reason why I decided to create a program specifically for those people who want to fall out of love with their exes was because I observed from the people who complete my breakup quizzes that 49% of them still have romantic feelings for their exes even after 9 months since the breakup, separation, or divorce. Indeed, love hurts. This breakup therapy program consists of 3 sessions. Session 1 is called Breaking the 007 Bond. The objective of Session 1 is to become motivated to break your emotional ties with your ex and make an informed decision on what type of post-breakup relationship you want. Session 2 is called Cutting Love into Pieces. The objective of this session is to understand why you're still in love or attached to your ex. And finally, session 3 is called Falling Out of Love on Purpose, just like the program. Its objective is to apply 5 cognitive and 8 behavioral techniques to fall out of love with your ex on purpose and sever the bond with your ex. To go through this program easily and effectively, I'll share with you a few tips to make your recovery journey a much better experience. First, if you use a mobile to access the treatment, you may need to turn your screen horizontally, otherwise you won't see the full text from a smaller screen with some quizzes or exercises. This experience obviously depends on the device that you use. I've made an effort to produce the videos with a good level of audio, but if you think that the volume is too low, use headphones to make the sound louder. My speech is normally quite dynamic and not too slow, but if you still want to watch the videos at a higher speed, you can speed up the videos. For example, you can select 125x from the video player. Bear in mind that I have set up the program in such a way that you cannot skip a video or a quiz and go to the next. Everything needs to be completed in sequence. If you try to jump from one element to another of the program without completing the previous one, you'll get this message: this item is locked. If you're using a slow internet connection, some videos may take up to a minute to load, particularly those ones when I'm introducing or concluding a session. Normally, it would take only a few seconds for videos to start. It's important that you complete the feedback form at the end of the program. It will help me enormously to improve the contents and delivery of this and future programs. By the way, Google Forms has introduced, at the time of creating this introduction, a message asking you to sign in order to save your progress. Please ignore this message. You can still complete all the quizzes and exercises without logging in. Don't be put off by that. Maybe this confusing message will disappear in the future, but for the time being, we just need to live with it. If you want a copy of the answers of your exercise, just select the option Send me a copy of my responses and click the Submit button. Resources for each session are normally associated with each video or as a separate file. Some of them can be downloaded, but some of them cannot. Normally, you can download a resource if it says that on the menu. The rest is not downloadable. There are 4 types of exercises. The first one is a quiz. There are lots of easy quizzes in the program to complete that makes the whole process much quicker and entertaining. The second type is what I've called a short exercise, which involves either writing a few sentences and sometimes just one line, or a more comprehensive exercise that corresponds to the homework of that session. And finally, an exercise where you would need to record the levels of distress in a graph. I strongly encourage you to complete all the exercises if you want to get the required results. Just watching the videos will not be sufficient. I'll be using some psychological terms or concepts that I mentioned throughout the program, so it's important to clarify them before you start any session. The first one is the word breakup, which may also refer to a separation for those who were cohabiting or a divorce. Distress is used to describe any negative emotion at all. It could be hurt, depression, anger, jealousy, anxiety, guilt, or shame. Let's talk about some considerations about gender and sexual orientation. The Fallout of Love with Your Ex on Purpose program can be used for any person who has experienced a breakup regardless of their sexual orientation. Any pictures of people not reflecting your sexual orientation are not meant to exclude anyone. At times, I may use examples using he or she to refer to your ex. However, these examples are not directed to any specific gender. Any personal data that you submit will be retained, but not disclosed to any third parties unless obliged by law to do so. All personal data is stored securely in accordance with the principles of the Data Protection Act 1998 in the UK. The answers to exercises and quizzes you may complete via Google Forms will only be available to me and you if you requested a copy of your answers. You can also send me an email after you complete the program to delete all your data from Google Forms if you wish to do so. So don't worry, your data is secure with me. If you ever gave consent to participate in a research study, then there will be some considerations about how your data will be used. However, being part of a study will require that you sign a consent form after being properly informed how your data will be handled, stored, and for how long. You can read more about the privacy policy and other terms and conditions from the Get Over Your Breakup website. Finally, I would also like to mention that I always try to be respectful with any authors and their findings, and I always cite them on my slides. I would also ask you the same to you, and not to ever share or use the materials of the therapy program with anybody. All materials are copyrighted and monitored in case they are being used in a different manner than its intended purpose. In fact, if videos or exercises are attempted to be copied, the security measures of my platform will create a watermark in which your email will appear on the screen to identify the person who tries to infringe the copyright. Well, with this, I guess that you're ready to start the program. See you soon.